Welcome back to another episode of One on One with Courtney Starks. I am your boy, Courtney, and I thank you all for being here. Today, joining me is actor, CEO, and president of Pineapple Inc., Shawn Credle. My friend, thank you so much once again for being here. I want to give an opportunity for people to give you your flowers now because it's amazing. What you are doing is so amazing, and we're thankful for you. So I know that you are also a military veteran, so we thank you for your service and all that you contributed. And as a military veteran, how has that experience shaped your approach to leadership in the business world?
It's actually a lot of people think it's a hard transition, but it's not. It's not at this level. I think at the executive level, any type of C-suite position, you probably would want veterans in power because we one thing that's our kind of our Achilles heels with maybe interpersonal relationships. We don't have much feeling, so we don't make business decisions based on emotion or ego or bravado or anything like that. It's very black and white.
Yeah.
So, that's how we were trained. That's at least how I was trained in the Marine Corps. Making decisions based on emotion, whether it's good or bad emotions, can get you and some of your other guys in trouble. So I don't. So it's actually a little bit better and quicker. We make quicker decisions because that's kind of the world we come from. You got to make quick decisions. You got to adapt and overcome. You got to work with what you're given. Sometimes you're not given everything. And there's many times, I know there's a lot of Marines that know this, especially serving during 9/11. You've had to play sometimes because they didn't have enough money to send you ammo. So you literally fronting, you have something in there and hopefully they don't call your bluff. So it does transition very well. We were able to deal with, a lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of things, especially at the CEO level. You get a lot of good and bad. Your days are a roller coaster, emotional roller coaster, because marketing could be kicking ass and then maybe ops is not this day and vice versa. So, for me, I see it both ways every single day. So, and you have to be able to navigate through those things to complete the mission.
Right. How have you been able, when we think about navigating, right? You take on a lot of these roles, right? Also, even though you're a CEO and a president, you're a military vet, you're acting. How do you said it's not a hard transition, but and I think in my mind, I'm like, how can one man do it all, right? How do you make space and time to do the many things that you do?
Time management. It's one of the very other things that you learn, especially in the Marine Corps. You're giving a lot of tasks and not a lot of time to do it. So, with me, I compartmentalize very well. I'm a college professor as well out of Barry University in Miami. So I teach leadership and entrepreneurship. And one thing I say is wherever you are, I have a million things I've done before this interview with you, and I have a million things to do right after this interview. But I tell my students, and I always tell anybody else, be here now. Nothing else matters right now except for what we're talking about.
Yes.
So that's how I'm able to put 1,000% into many different things instead of, 50% in a few other things. No, get all your right now, and then you go ahead and move on. So that's how I've been able to do all these things in a short amount of time of 42 years, having served in the military and having 4 masters and doing all these things, acting, modeling, and producing.
So, I wish we were all like that. Like I know a lot of times we're so busy, especially as creatives, worried about what's about to happen in 4 hours or what happened 4 hours ago instead of what's happening right now and taking care of that chunk right now so you can kind of make sure everything else is happening in alignment. I love that. Like I think that's a great piece of advice, but even for myself, because I'm like that too. I can get like, okay, so I'm doing this now, but in 30 minutes, I got to worry about, you know what I mean? Like your mind's always running. There's never no calm down, and we lose ourselves in the midst of,
You have to do that. I know where I have to be in an hour, but there's nothing I can do about that until I get going. So, you know what I mean? Also, two things I think saves a lot of time. I don't like sleep, and I don't like food. So I eat once a day It's typically the same thing every day, the same time, and I don't think about food again until the next day at that time.
Oh
So
wow.
most people think about what am I gonna have for breakfast? What am I gonna have for lunch? What am I gonna have? And then you're doing plans. I gotta drive over here to get that, or I gotta order this here. I gotta do, I gotta plan with this person to meet. That's a lot of stuff waste on putting in your mouth, And the same with sleep. I think Deion Sanders, said I dream when I'm awake because I can do
Mm,
something. I can do something about it. So I don't like to sleep. I get what I need and I keep it moving. And
mm.
no personal life,
Yes.
zero.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh,
So
guys.
I'm on a mission, man. I got to build some things. I got to do some stuff. I got to leave my mark on this earth, and the rest can come later. I'll eat and go to sleep and all that stuff. Much later or after I'm gone.
Oh,
So
man, you see, you guys, you're gonna put me to shame. I love to sleep. But let's talk about let's talk about your independent films. What was it like working with Vivica Fox and all these other incredible actors?
well, first of all, I got an amazing opportunity to come on at sort of mid to end production of a film called Camp Joy. We're in
Mm,
post production now. We're about to be finished. Actually, we should have our premiere around I believe January. So this is a film starring Vivica Fox, also Summer, who is Terrence Howard's daughter, and
mm-hmm.
Eric Roberts, Princess Love, who's actually a good friend of mine, Ray J's wife. Shawn Ringle is a good friend of mine as well. Folks may know him from Family Business, is playing
Yeah.
Junior, or Notorious as Suge Knight. Um, Obviously, everyone loves Eric Roberts, and
Mm-hmm.
we have Daylight Supreme, who is directing this film, and you know he brought me on and a partner of mine, Phil Westbrooks, as executive producers to get some more out of the film. There was a lot of
Mm.
some things missing, and Shawn called me and he said, "Hey man, I don't know, just kind of out of the blue, and I felt the story of this film, and I'm like, how much you guys need, so and it was all my friends anyway. Most of these
Right.
folks worked in the film, so it's kind of different because typically you can you can't really just call a few people on that have been working with these guys and say, hey, how's this film, and give the exact thing, So
Right.
everyone loved this film. Everyone was excited to do it. I love the storyline, and me and my partner, we came in on it, and I got my first EP credit, and it's kind of a Daylight Supreme's last executive producer was Denzel Washington 2 years ago.
Nice. Nice.
They made the Oscar list for his Chicago documentaries, and so I'm just humbled to even to branch out from I'm a SAG actor already,
Right.
but to get into my first producing role and seeing things and having an input behind the camera, it's I totally understand what actors say. It's like when you get behind the camera, it opens your world even
Yeah.
more.
Yes.
So absolutely.
And it also humbles you, right, to see the job from the other side. You know.
Even from the grips and from the guys doing slates. I mean, it's just everyone's. I've just seen it as okay. I'm just worried about me doing my lines, looking at,
Mm-hmm.
and not everything else that goes around
Yeah.
it. You
Yeah.
know, it's amazing to see all those ins and outs. Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
honor, man. I'm
It's
humbled.
definitely an honor. As the CEO of Pineapple Inc., I remember before you made it Pineapple Inc., it was just Pineapple Express. So when to come back, when I tell people this was a long time coming, no one's understanding. I was telling my publicist this. I remember when it was Pineapple Express. So I'm telling people we were supposed to do this a long time ago, right? So as the CEO of Pineapple Inc., what motivated you to enter into the cannabis industry?
Honestly, it was a founder of Pineapple actually. He had a good mold of clay, and but at that time, I live in Miami and Puerto Rico primarily. I have a place here in LA to run the company, but
Yeah.
that's where it was, and that's where he kind of found me, and said, you have this background, you're a military guy, you have all these things, and you're black and brown, and and
Mm,
and, and the head of a CEO of a cannabis company is like, there's none. There's
right.
none. And at the time, honestly, I didn't have much of an interest in the cannabis industry. In fact, some people now will say, "How the hell are you doing this?" I didn't even
Yes.
try. didn't even try it until my 20s, and I'm not that much of a, maybe 4 times in my 20s I tried.
Yeah.
So, I saw this as an opportunity to take all this body of work that I've done over the years and kind of collectively put it in a platform to where I can bring a publicly traded cannabis corporation from one side of federal criminalization to the other side of descheduling and decriminalization, which we're in the stages of doing right now as we speak, with cannabis going from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 very, very soon. So I saw that, and then I also saw the future of myself dipping into politics later on, and thought this could be a good platform to do that as well. So here we are 5 years later. December will be 5 years that I assumed the role. And since then, yes, the plan was to eventually, and we're here now, is to separate church and state in terms of having two publicly traded cannabis companies. So now at Pineapple Express now is all your brick and mortar cannabis dispensaries, your home delivery, your manufacturing, your cultivation, all those things, all the vertical plant touching activities.
Yeah.
Under Pineapple Express, which is actually under a new public company called Pineapple Express Cannabis Company. Now it's PNXP on the OTC market. So that's for folks who actually want to buy stock into a cannabis touching entity. Yeah. Now, on the other hand, Pineapple Inc. now is another pubco that Pineapple Wellness, which is a CBD only division, and that's in health and beauty and cat dog treats, all these things, CBD infused beauty products that we ship nationwide. And also we have some on Amazon as well, and those will be coming in some CVS stores very soon. And that's just the CBD stuff, and also management, leasing, licensing, all the non-plant touching activities. So for folks that want to buy stock in a cannabis company that maybe cannot because of they have a federal job or they're a federal employee, they can buy this stock. So now it used to be I was the youngest black and brown CEO of a pubco in cannabis in the world. That got announced last year in Jamaica, in CanX Jamaica. Now I'm literally the only person, period, regardless of color or age, that is heading up two publicly traded cannabis companies.
Wow.
That just happened about 3 months ago. So the timing, like you said, was perfect because I wouldn't have this to say to you.
Being the first Black publicly traded, I wanted to make sure I said this. Being the first Black publicly traded cannabis business entrepreneur, man, that has to be such a significant accomplishment, right? To first of all, you say to yourself earlier, I didn't even sign up for this, right? I didn't originally even sign up for this, to then be told that I am the first Black man. For you, how'd that make you feel? And then two, I want to kind of dive into some of the challenges that you faced getting to this point and how you overcame them.
It feels, again, I don't, that's the Marine in me. I don't really feel much of elation or anything. It just seems like these are the things that I had to do. Yeah. But at the same time, we wouldn't be speaking, man. I'm only one person. So It's really my team. It's really the folks at Pineapple, all the people that I employ, everyone down to the dispensaries. Customers don't know who the CEO is mostly. They know, but they know bartenders, the people they see when they go in. I tell my bartenders, I tell my employees, you guys are Pineapple, not me. You guys. So I feel great for them because we're creating a great work environment for folks to come and work and in a legal cannabis environment. So I guess I feel great for my folks. But this ain't for Shawn. Nothing I do or have done is for Shawn. It's really for just, I'm a server. So that's why I say, everything I've done, military, teaching, this job, it's all serving the people that I employ or I take care of. And later on, donate my body to politics and then to science when I die. So that's really it. Honestly.
Yeah.
That's really
Man, I love how first of all how humble you are. It gives me chills because a lot of people are like would have told me this long award-winning story, right? About growing up and this is how I had to go through this. And I love that it's so like there is no gray area, right? And it's
We've been
so
through it. Everybody's been through it. What are you going to hear? The same kind of different story about I struggled. Yeah, I struggled. Single black mom, racist Connecticut. Okay, but a lot of us did.
yes,
So my whole thing is I don't like to stick to that stuff. I like to not become a product of your environment because if I went the wrong route, no one would bat an eye. It would just be
right.
like that's the way they are. But
Mm-hmm.
there was something bigger than me, and that's what I really want to get out to folks is that I was living in the hood, man, like in a not the greatest of means, but I'm sitting there. There has to be something better than this, and I felt it in my gut.
Mm.
That's why I went crazy and went into the Marine Corps, and I graduated first class in military school, and I said I was going to do it before we even took the first test, and I got this whole thing like, oh wow, this guy thinks he's that, but I'm like, no, now I put it on myself.
Come on.
And take that away from me. I did that.
Yes. Right.
Did
I
the four,
earned it.
and
Right.
I
Yes.
earned it. Did the 4 master's degrees. I sat in all those classes. I wrote all those damn papers. And those things, and people say, well, how did you do all that stuff? I never stopped. I decided that being a scholar was just another job and the other many things that I do concurrently.
Yes.
So I went to school 10 years straight and never took a semester off. Just went summers and my life.
Right.
That's how you do stuff.
Yes.
Everything can wait. You front load your life. So then when later on in life, you can kind of then take a step back because then that's the time you really need to rest.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. That's so true. Instead of allowing yourself to fall victim to the many excuses we can put on ourselves, right? I'm black. I lived in the hood. My mother didn't have this. I didn't have my dad. And it's like, no, none of that matters. It's your life.
It doesn't matter. And it's all that is true. But we just have to work harder. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. I just got to work harder.
Yes.
Because if I don't get a job, and then someone else someone else maybe Caucasian gets that job, you got to look me in the face and tell me it's because of my color. Because my resume is, you can't tell me that this guy has more degrees, this guy has more corporate experience, this guy has more military experience. You can't tell me that because
Right.
I did all this stuff strategically in my life. I put all that there.
Yeah.
So you got to look me in the face now and tell me that that it's because of this. And if you're talking about more qualified, that means because of this.
Yes. Yes. It's the truth. It is what it is, right? Like it is what it is. So, what advice would you give entrepreneurs about kind of wanting to be interested, or those people who are interested in breaking into the cannabis industry? At first I was thinking, oh, those who are in underrepresented communities, but I feel like this can go to anybody. This entrepreneurs alike. What would you say to them?
Yeah, and I wouldn't put this on black or brown. I think overall, the cannabis culture, we don't really see color that much.
Yeah.
We are lacking leadership in these fields for sure. Yeah. That's absolutely for sure. However, in terms of folks, you entering the space at whatever capacity, I don't see. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, there's biases, there's color biases everywhere you go. But I would say this is the least industry where that happens, just because of the nature of the environment and the culture of cannabis. We are a loving couple. So I like to say that I'm a modern day corporate hippie.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got to get things done, but also a peace and love as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think anyone wanting to get in the industry, I think they need to figure out where they want to fit in first. And I think it's just like, I want people to get cannabis out of their head and just think of it as another corporate entity.
Mm-hmm.
So, you want to work in retail? Do you want to work at the stores? Do you want to work in manufacturing? Do you want to create? You want to work in cultivation? These are a lot of things, and a lot of schools now are accredited, fully accredited schools are actually giving fully accredited cannabis courses now. So that's what I would say is seek out these colleges that are actually giving nationally recognized, full 4-year bachelor's degrees with specializations and concentrations in cannabis horticulture.
Yes, yes.
So, and as we see that, we'll see this a lot more now that it looks like cannabis is going to be rescheduled from Schedule 1, which is like heroin and cocaine down to 3. Now, this is a medical study now. So now they're going to be able to prescribe these things, and also teach them in schools and also do full research. We have every research that's been done, all the research known pretty much to mankind has almost always been done with private dollars because of the schedule, because it's been federally legal. Now we're able to put federal dollars into research, and you can imagine there's going to be so much more about this plant that we've never known when we can actually put a lot of dollars into the research. So I think it's a new wave. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. It's here to stay. We're us personally in Pineapple. We're branching to Europe and Japan. I just got back from 2 weeks over there a couple of weeks ago. Spreading like wildfire. And I'm happy to have Pineapple through me in my seat on the National Cannabis Advisory Council through Benzinga to be able to do these things everywhere in the world.
In the world. It's great. I was getting ready to ask you that too. Like, how was that Euro tour? And I mean, you answered it, but how impactful was that Euro tour for those people across the seas to kind of learn about this and want to, I guess, be inspired behind the process of what this was. Right? So many years it's been illegal. And so many years people are fighting to do these things, but like you said, because it wasn't really being talked about, you couldn't have this type of conversation, the right way. And now that it's open, do you see yourself bringing the tour to the States? How did that look for you?
I mean, the tour is in the States too, so actually I'm going to Chicago in a couple of weeks to speak over there. But in the States, I'm pretty much on the road every 3 weeks or so. Whether it's another state here, with an emerging market here, like a New York or a Louisiana or something like that. And then I branch out where I'm needed in other countries as well. And I think that other states and other countries look to California, specifically LA, for a lot of guidance and a lot of thought leadership and perspective on what's going on with the legal cannabis market. So I think that and especially LA now is the largest cannabis market in the world, surpassing Amsterdam quite a few years ago. So everyone's kind of looking to us to see what's the next move and how have we been able to sharpen our processes throughout the evolution of legalization. And that's what I talk about. I talk about making your deliveries more efficient. Different systems to make your cannabis delivery more efficient, different security protocols that we've learned over the years, different ways of doing banking, since you can't really do banking. So how do you bank? And that's the biggest, how do you guys do this? So, these are the things that I offer up, and also I recommend, other firms that are doing these things, as well. So that's my job, and I think my job, and I put Pineapple as, one of our core competencies is to be a leader in this industry. I want other cannabis companies, not just in LA, not just in Cali, not just in the States, but the world, to look to Pineapple to see what to do. And I love doing that because, number one, that's another reason for being public. We're transparent inside and outside of the organization. It keeps you young, keeps folks investing in you, gives them more of the I would say peace of mind that you're investing in something that is so still taboo to a lot of folks.
Right.
Like Bitcoin and blockchain. People they want it, but they don't they're still not
grasping it all. They have a bunch of questions.
Right. So my job is to paint Pineapple as more of something that people recognize, and that what people recognize is actual corporations. It means actually running your cannabis corporation like an actual corporation. You'd be surprised how many guys do not do this. Still run it like an illegal operation, and it's not going to work. That's not going to validate the industry, and it's not going to change people's minds. So yes, we're publicly traded. Yeah, we're on the SEC. You can go look at our filings. Everything is there. You would never know it was cannabis that we're selling. It could be toilet paper. It could be whatever the case may be. That is what gets not only the feds validation from you, and also your constituents, and also some people that are looking to, invest in the cannabis.
I'm thankful for your transparency here. How can people support you? How can people follow you and be involved in all that you have going on?
Well, my Instagram is I am Shawn Credle. That's ShawnCredle. Pineapple is Pineapple Express Hollywood. That is our flagship dispensary, located on the famous corner of Hollywood and Vine. So you guys don't even need an address for that one. Just go to the corner of Hollywood and Vine in Hollywood, and right next to Capitol Records, and you'll see Pineapple Express right there represented. We have a lot of folks that are represented into that house. I have a lot of great investors that are in that one house. Princess Love is also one of them. Ray J is one of them. Deshaun Jackson is one of them. Football great. Also, 2 Chainz, my largest investor in that house as well. So we have a lot of cool people that are, actually Black and Brown Hollywood really gathered around me.
Yeah.
Over the last few years, and I couldn't be more humbled for that. And that's honestly the reason why we've excelled in that short amount of time, is because of that celebrity. It's really I couldn't be more honest in that. And Big Percy, Snoop's former business partner and manager, is a big part of that. So shout out to him as well. And I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up who actually introduced me to him, is Debo, Tiny Lister.
Oh, wow.
Tiny Junior, my brother, rest in peace. And we really had a good kinship and a deep bond. He left me to be the godfather to his daughter when he passed COVID complications a couple of years ago. So he has a star inside of our Hollywood dispensary, because we continued. It's on the Walk of Fame, so we continued the Walk of Fame into the store. And gave folks who have been big investors or big supporters, and Tiny is one of those people. So,
I always tell people, like, your identity is not tied to the things that you do, but just who you are as a person. So, what is next for Shawn Credle, the person, not just this young individual who's a president, who's a veteran, you know what I mean, who's a 4-time master, like, what is next for you in your mind? Because I feel like, just even reading your bio, like, you've done everything so strategically and it's so craftily done. What do you feel like you have next to give to the world, or something you want to do before leaving this world?
Politics. So I've been invited to the Congressional Black Caucus that's going on next week in DC. So I will be attending there, and now they're actually starting to have a few panels based on cannabis, which is great. So I met with a few folks. I've actually met with Hill Harper, who, if those folks,
another Senate, am I correct?
Another great actor, but also was Obama's former roommate in Harvard.
Yeah.
And put me in contact with his VP. I've had Cedric Entertainer has introduced me to Maxine Waters on a couple of occasions. And I've sat with Karen Bass here, the first Black elected female in LA. Had lunch, only cannabis company at her first mayoral luncheon. Nice. So I feel that it's starting to, I've always felt in my life, and I just tell people this. This is a lesson I tell everybody. I told my students. The reason why I've done stuff so quickly and so fast, I hear people, but I don't necessarily listen, because no one knows what you need to do but you. Right. And you know why someone's telling you to do something or not to do something. It sounds cynical, but that's the way people are. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You never know. And I would just go. That's what I say. What's the best thing? What's the best advice to tell somebody that wants to do this or do that? Go. Go. Stop thinking, I should try. Let me look this up. Go. Just go. That's the quickest way to stop procrastination. You just actually go.
No net.
No
safety net. No plan B.
No, exit strategy later. A lot of times I tell people I'm building the plane as I'm flying it. And that sometimes I'm better with my back against the wall. And that's when you know what you're made of.
Yeah.
It really is. So here's what I'll say. How many times have you heard someone say, I want to do something, but I don't think I should, or I don't want to do this, but I think I should? You're literally contradicting yourself in the same damn question.
Mm.
You're not trusting yourself. That little I want, that little initial, everyone knows if they want to do something or not instantly when you feel it. That little feeling, that's your gut. That's you.
Yeah.
That's you. Now, the thinking, but I don't think I should, or I think I should, that has too many variables. That has grew up, your religion, what your parents are going to think, societal norms, this, that, and the other. Go with this all the time. Unless you're a psychopath, go with this all the time. You're going to be right. And a lot of times people make up excuses because it seems hard, or they'll make up excuses for me or someone else. They'll say, "Oh, that guy's great. He's crazy. I run 15 miles every other day." People are like, "That's crazy. How can you do that?" No, it's not. You're making me greater in your mind, so that it gives you an excuse not to do the same damn thing. Because I'm only a human being too, man. I am not a science anomaly. I'm just like you, you know. I just choose, and I have the discipline, and the mental workout and the mental training is a lot tougher than the physical.
That's so true.
I just tell people, just go, just do what you do. I'm not a big religious person, but I'm a firm believer in Buddhism. Don't be a jerk to people. Be good, be nice, mind your business, and just steady on, because life is short. It's short.
Yeah. I appreciate. I listen. I know that more than anybody, and I thank you. I thank you for those words. I thank you for that advice. I think anybody watching this is needed to hear that. That sometimes you just got to go. All the extra thoughts and doubts and concerns, you can figure that out later, right? Whatever you want to, right? Because by that time it's done, right? It's already done. You already did it. You can't go back now, But we needed to hear that, and we are thankful for you, Shawn. Thank you once again for being here. I'm so thankful for the time to be able to have this in-depth conversation. I don't think 5 years ago when we were trying to plan this, it would have been a thing. So I appreciate you. I appreciate the setup and how this was made to be. And I appreciate all of you for watching today on another episode of One with Courtney Starks. If you do anything else today, I need you to go follow this man because I said so. Okay, that's it. There is no other variables involved. Just go, okay? Just go and follow because I said so. I thank you. I love you. And I will see you on another episode of One on One with Courtney Starks. Have a good one.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.